Here is that 60-minute chart of the ES. The gray area, of course, is the area that is the overnight trading, and the white area is the trading that occurred during the day. So Monday we had a huge upward spike. This is where it started the day based on Sunday, based on the overnight, based on the trading at the end of the previous week, and then it explodes up here based on the French election relief, as Macron is the favorite over Le Pen very significantly. Eurozone overall up about 3.5%. The French CAC 40 was up 4.2%. China down 1.4%. Honest steel crackdown over there. They seem to be falling in line with the U.S. demands about dumping steel. And U.S. stocks, they jumped up early. They were up about 27, and they pretty much held in there throughout the day. It didn't change very much. The world stock market still basking from that move up again on Tuesday. Japan was the best, up about 1% as the yen weakened. New home sales were stronger and prices really strong as inventories are pretty low out there. And that higher prices are really getting prices up to levels that you got to really worry about affordability. But U.S. strong stocks up again on earnings report, and the Dow up over 1%, and as 4 Dow stocks beat on earnings, and you saw this upward move, and it held right through the end of the day, but then it started to tick down. Again, Japan up 1% on Wednesday, was strong on the yen decline, and that when the yen goes down, they get real excited over there, so they buy up their stocks. World stock markets were up a little bit, and investors were buying ahead of the release of the President Trump tax plan. A late sell-off hit, though. It was kind of a sell the news thing, and that made the high for the week, basically, as we were waiting for what Mnuchin said was the biggest tax cut ever. But the question is, how will it possibly pass Congress? You got to be able to buy their dynamic scoring. The Democrats are going to not buy that whatsoever. And U.S. Steel just absolutely cracks huge, and I'll show you that one in our worst stocks of the week. On a real earnings shock. They were supposed to make money, and they lost money, and that really led the materials sector down. Tuesday was kind of a weaker day. Overnight didn't happen very much. The Trump tax plan met skepticism. Yeah, me too. I'm highly skeptical. I would love to see it, man. I'm a real low tax guy and small government guy as a libertarian, but I don't see them passing this thing. ECB comes out, their policy is unchanged. They really were quite dovish, and that's despite the fact that Friday they reported some strong core inflation. And the comment that Draghi made was that the recovery is increasingly solid in there. U.S. stocks, they really slow down. They chop a lot in here. Look at the diamond formation right in there. You see that diamond right there? And that kind of was a little high right there at that point. And you can see a head and shoulders right in here if you like looking at those things. And that, of course, set up this weaker day on Friday. That core inflation rate in the EU comes in the most in 4 years. Euro bonds down sharply. The bonds in Germany, they're up 9 basis points on the week, and we're up 7 basis points here on our 10 years. So our U.S. bond market is also weak, and that's in front of the FOMC that's coming in the next week. I'll show you that on the calendar in a second. Google and Amazon jump big on their earnings reports, and that leads the NASDAQ up, but it has slipped here. It was up very significantly, like 20-something points, and now it's only up about 8 points as we get in here towards the last hour of the day. So that's a look at what went on in the last week. Let's take a look at our economic calendar for the coming week, and you can see in here still a lot of earnings reports coming out. That is probably another week or so after this of earnings reports, and then we'll be through this giant onslaught of them that we have had. So you could see the lists in there. Everybody's going to be watching Tesla after the close on Wednesday. That's for sure one of the big ones. And you can just take a little picture of this and put it up by your computer. And then you'll have the widely helds that are going to be reporting this week. As far as economic news for the week, well, we get Tuesday, the beginning of the FOMC meeting, and Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time will be the announcement. Also have the employment numbers this week. It's kind of unusual that we have the FOMC and the employment numbers on the same week. So Wednesday we get the private sector ADP, and then we get the employment situation and numbers here on Friday. So those are all really big numbers, and we will see if there is anything supportive in those numbers to what the Fed is saying, which is essentially that they're going to be moving the interest rates up steadily for this year and into next year, but at an incredibly slow rate because they're afraid to pop the bubble they created.
Well, I'm going to the city and I'm going to do a steady show. And I know all my fans want to learn how to make some dough. I've been